Welcome back to RGR. It's been a really eventful couple of weeks, and I know you guys are really, really pumped about what you saw the Chiefs do in coming back in an epic fashion from being down 24 points against those Texans. And it's been a great run. We're going to talk about that in depth today. But if you're new around here, I'm Ryan, and this is my channel, Ryan Going Rogue. I'm going to have my opinions. They're going to be a little bit different than most of the things that you're going to hear. That said, if you are new, click the sub, the notification bell so you know when something new goes up. Leave your comment down below and leave me a thumbs up if you like this video. Today we got to talk about how they got here. I'm going to go through the film. This is a film room session. I just wanted to say hello. My voice is pretty beat up, so I just wanted to prepare you for that as I get ready to film the actual film sessions. It's going to be a little bit crusty, not a big deal. I'm not feeling the greatest, but I wanted to make sure that I got this for you at this time of year when we should all be peaking just like the team is. So if you're not a Chiefs fan, welcome to what we're doing. There's a lot of new people that are starting to pay attention to what Mahomes and the crew are doing. I'm going to walk you through everything. If you're not necessarily a Chiefs fan, but a fan of another team, welcome. I hope you enjoy this. Let us know what you think of this team down below as well. Couple of standouts for me is what I'm going to go over. New digs. I'm working on the studio, so it's a little bit kind of haphazard right now. Trying to keep the Chiefs theme in the background. Hope you guys dig that. Let me know what you think or what you'd like to see too, and I'll see what I can get creative with as we go along. So without anything else, hope you enjoyed that divisional game. The AFC Championship's coming up. We'll talk about that later in the week. Let's get into the film room. So I'm going to begin my look at the divisional game against the Texans and start with the film on Frank Calrk. Now, this is one of Frank's 3 sacks on the day. This is a very similar thing to what we've seen before, with almost no beef inside. This is Frank out wide here on the right tackle. Dorian O'Daniel's in the game, and I wanted to point that out right away because you're going to see exactly how he plays. This is the first major action of Dorian O'Daniel for Spags, and I thought he did a great job, and you're going to see why. This is Neiman doing his normal nickel backer thing. Dan Sorensen's behind him. You have K-Pass and Suggs right now lined up and upright. The interesting part, before we look at what Frank does, is watch Tyrann Mathieu. I talk a lot about what Spags is able to do by his designs, by moving guys around. Before it was Juan Thornhill, but now you'll see the Kendall Fuller is here at the back of the formation. He played 55 snaps at free safety against the Texans. By far his biggest number ever. He is definitely taking on that role. They'll use Watts when they have to, but I think they're pretty comfortable with what Fuller did. He played pretty dang well, and he allows them to have that versatility. Right now, if they wanted, he could come up on a wide receiver that lines up over here if that happened, and Tyrann could drop right back out. They are interchangeable. Fuller isn't as good or as mobile as Mathieu, but I do feel that he has a very similar skill set. He can cover wide receivers. I know he struggled with that this year, but he's still very good at it and can mirror. The free safety thing, playing in space, is his better deal. He played better in zone, I felt, in Washington than he's played in man here in Kansas City. So, but that said, having him at the back allows this kind of thing to happen, what we're going to see from Tyrann Mathieu here, as Spags uses him as the jack of all trades that he is. I'm going to put this in a little bit of slow-mo so we can watch the pre-snap. And as the play's getting ready to come off, it looks like Tyrann's showing what he always shows, and that he's getting ready to rush. You have the A and B gap covered here, and you have Tano and Suggs out wide, and now Suggs has gone down. But basically from, you might call that a 7 technique, maybe a wide 9, to about the same on the side. There's nobody down. There's no down lineman rushing this play, and I think that's great. We're going to see a variant of it again later here in a little bit. And so as the play starts, you thought he was going to blitz in this gap, and that sets the backup for what he has to do, but really he's coming all the way, Tyrann Mathieu is, across the formation to set up in a zone here and see what happens with Fuller there. As we saw, that didn't end up needing him very much. We go back to the beginning of the play, and this is why. Watch what Frank does as he comes around the edge. And that hesitation, pulling the back inside a little bit, is significant. As Frank goes around the corner, just a little bit of a bull, uses that long pole arm. We've talked about that and the fact that he couldn't do it earlier in the season, and that was a problem. And he gets there. Now, there's a lot of guys coming to his aid as well, but we see that again. Here's the interesting thing is that Dorian O'Daniel is spying Watson. And this is what it looks like. Engage a little bit, dance around in case right now as the pressure comes to the outside, if Watson decides to break up here, Dorian O'Daniel's in a position to just go after him. He can duck underneath this block. If he dips outside or tries to get around, if Frank comes inside now and Watson goes outside, O'Daniel's in a position to chase, and in a pretty good position. You see here that the other back that was in the formation and the tackle Tunsil have Suggs out of the picture for the most part, and Tano's really fighting a double team here. So it really is about Frank and Dorian O'Daniel pursuing or keeping an eye on Watson, but Watson also has nowhere to run because of these guys. As we move forward, he realizes that Frank gets his arm on him. Now here, O'Daniel couldn't come around and did exactly what he did there to help. Great play. Fenton comes in, adds a little bit of edge. I do like seeing that from a rookie. That's fun to see. Now we're going to take a look at the first touchdown that I felt Mahomes really zipped it in there. It was a nice combination of plays, and this is the one that goes to Damien, who's lines up here offset in a single back formation. With Kelce and the wide receivers, Tyreek's alone down here to the bottom of the screen. That's going to distract a little bit, but the key here is what you're going to see the Texans linebacker communicating. He's going to get Jacob Martin standing up. He's going to get him with a changed assignment here, and I think Dan Orlovsky talked about this. I'm not going to go into a depth as to why that change occurs, but basically Travis Kelce is watching this whole time. You see that he realizes that this blitz has come, and whether or how he got there, I'll leave that to Dan. But the point is that he realizes that he's got coverage here and a responsibility for where this route is going to go. It's not a wheel. It's not way outside. It's pretty tight. And see, he knows that because of the switch in responsibility, that this end is going to take Damien Williams, and he's going to chip him basically. Get a good block on him, and then continue on his route. And you'll see him that he effectively takes out 2 defenders. Good punch here, and then his coverage goes with him. It allows that pass just land on Damien's hip, and he's gone. Without that nudge from Travis Kelce on Martin, Damien does not get into the end zone there. Want to see it from the other angle real quick just to see as it comes down over here. Travis is just going to come with the shoulder, and it's just enough to let Damien loose. Bam, and now Damien's got the edge. Right there, it's on his hip. Perfect pass, and he's got 1.5 yards of separation. Now, this is the play. You've seen this a ton. It's been on every highlight reel over and over and over. This is the play where Frank actually ran like 42 yards in order to chase down Watson, and it just looks like he's going in circles. But there's a reason for that, and it's because of the help from Reggie Ragland and the secondary. Now watch how they're aligned here. Everybody's manned up. You have Tyron playing games. Watson right now knows Tyron well enough that he doesn't know whether he's going to be a robber, if he's going to come on delayed blitz, or if he's actually going to drop into a deep half. He could do anything according to Watson, and he just doesn't know what's going to be there. The key here is that Ward's going to have Hopkins, and that's going to be important. Watson's actually going to look at the opposite receiver who's lined up across from Dan Sorensen. That's probably a matchup that Watson thought that he was going to like, but it just doesn't come to light. As we roll forward, we're going to see how everything evolves and what goes on. And as we look at the coverage, he's down to his drop. He's looking to deliver the ball. Frank's already gone past him once, been pushed out of the play, but there's just no space. You have coverage everywhere. No one is loose. Hop's doubled here. And the receiver that he was trying to go to has Sorensen on the inside hip and Tyrann Mathieu over the top. Not something that you can try to complete, so he has to tuck it, and he has to continue. He dips around. He's still looking. Can't get anybody to uncover. Frank chases him around the backside again. And the situation, a number of seconds later, at least 1.8, maybe 2 seconds later, is that they're still in coverage position. This is a secondary sack. He's trying to deliver the ball. He's trying to come up now, and it's just too long to run around back there. Frank does get it done with the help of some other guys. And when we look at the opposite angle, you're going to see why. Very similar to what we saw when Dorian O'Daniel was lined up earlier in the game. This is what they're doing with Reggie Ragland. And the key is here, to spy a quarterback inside the tackles, you don't have to be a speed demon. They do this. In fact, the Bills did it with a defensive lineman. You've seen other linemen do it. This is about diverting the quarterback from trying to take a hold because there's somebody bigger that can hit him right in there. It's deterrent. It's not speed and athleticism. But again, we're going to see with Frank out here, Suggs over on this side, K pass inside with Rags instead of Dorian O'Daniel. As they take off, Going to get a little bit of swing here. Tunsil's over here. Ragland is going to take up a couple of blockers. He's going to give this guy a little bit. He's just dancing. He's not pressing. Had Watson stepped up, he can go take him. He's keeping enough space and enough ability to shed real quick that he can chase down anywhere in this hole where he knows he has help. Now Watson goes back the other. Reggie's still there. He has nowhere to go. Watson's going back the other side. Reggie's a little out of position right here, and he's going to come back. He's going to beat this block again. He's still chasing. Reggie forces him back inside, and that's when Frank finally catches up with him. This was a team sack all the way around, not just Frank Calrk, not just the ends, Reggie in the middle and the secondary working the backside. And finally, I want to go over the play that I think was my favorite. That is the last touchdown to Travis Kelce, and you're going to see exactly why. Not only is this athleticism, but this is what they were talking about, knowing where they wanted to go without having to say it to each other. We're going to see Kelce come in motion here. He's going to line up on this side. And he's got a matchup. He knows he has coverage in Cunningham, who is a speed linebacker. He can actually get out there. I thought he played pretty well against Kelce this game. And so he knows he has options here. You have 55 coming downhill as well. You got to know where this back's going. Mahomes is reading, and he's going to wander out and buy some time. Merciless is cut. Nice block, by the way. Really like that. Now you have Fisher coming around. But here's the thing. You've got a tight window that he'd have to really pull his shoulders around right now to get this to Sammy. So that's really not an option. Travis is over here off the screen. It's going to come around. As Merciless tries to catch up, Cunningham's now coming in a rush. You have Jacob back here. You have the DBs that Kelce's just settling down in the middle right here. And he just takes that step. And at this point, there's 3 guys converging on Kelce, and there's 3 guys converging on Mahomes. And Mahomes just kind of slows down and passes it back almost around Cunningham's back here, right to Kelce. It's a beautiful thing, and only Patrick Mahomes can do it. It's something that you're not going to see again, and if you do, it's probably a problem. But the way that it's run is really pretty to see. That's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you do, click the sub, the notification bell, leave your comment below, and hit that thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. Appreciate you guys checking this out, and the ones that are coming up now. I'll check you next time.